Hello and welcome to another Bright Ideas video. This time we're going to go over a perpetual motion generator. Okay, before we get into building this one, let's get into some basic theory on engines and generators. So, a V6 internal combustion engine has 6 pistons that go back and forth as it goes through its 4 strokes. And as those 6 pistons go back and forth, they move a crankshaft, and that crankshaft rotates, sending energy usually to a car's wheels through a transmission. But this spinning crankshaft could be used in conjunction with an electric generator instead of a car's transmission. To my knowledge, an electric generator is very similar to an electric motor, just switched around, vice versa. Where instead of taking electricity to make a motor spin, the armature is instead spun, which creates electricity. So basically, if you had an electric generator, you could produce electricity if you attach the armature to a crankshaft or such. And the current issue with electric generators is usually you need an internal combustion engine to run them. But now here's where the bright idea starts to come in. Let's see if we can replace the internal combustion with anything else. And what I've thought of is, what if we put springs in the piston chambers instead? Now let's dive into my basic design for a perpetual motion generator. Let's start with my version of a piston-driven crankshaft. Let's add 4 pistons. Now let's attach each piston to a piston rod. Then attach those piston rods to a crankshaft. Next, let's bring in the piston chamber. Then let's add the casing. So with nothing in the piston chambers, the crankshaft spins like this, with the pistons going up and down. Now let's put springs in the piston chambers and get it moving. Now you might be thinking, those pistons are going to reach an equilibrium and the device will stop spinning. But to stop that problem, let's add some inertia plates. Now these plates will be about 5 pounds each, and I call them inertia plates because when you get them spinning really fast, the inertia of the plates pushes or forces the springs to go past their equilibrium position and throws the springs into another cycle. I've actually tried building this perpetual motion device generator a few times now, and actually here's one that I made. As you can see, as I spin the crankshaft, the pistons go up and down, and you can't see in the cylinders, but in those cylinders would be some springs. As you can see here, we have 2 ends of rotational energy. We could take one end and run it to a little electric generator that powers a small electric motor, which aids in keeping this device running. And with the device running, we could take the other end and possibly produce a little bit of electricity through an electric generator. I'm not actually 100% sure that this device would work, but if it didn't work, maybe we could make it work in conjunction with solar power, where the solar power can keep this running to produce electricity. This is my more recent attempt to get this device working. It's a little bit different of a design. It's only 3 pistons and different style of piston chamber, but I got all the way to the point where I had inertia plates on it, and I didn't print this at 100% infill, meaning this is not solid plastic, and the crankshaft snapped, and then I gave up with it. Well, that's about it for this video. Do remember, if you have any modifications or improvements to any of the Bright ideas, feel free to write about it in the comments. Maybe instead of using springs in this device, you would use magnets or any other great ideas. Thanks for watching, and there will be more Bright ideas to come.